Woo! What's up, good people? What's going on? And here we are. Here we are one more time. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that this is not sit down Saturday. I'm a little bit well, I don't know if I'm behind or if I'm ahead or what, but I know I usually come on here on Saturdays with you guys and do a little sit down session with you guys. But knowing that the game was last night, I felt the need to come on a Sunday. All right, Trackhawk, what's up, my man? Recom Tech. Woo, man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. So, man. So listen, again, I know that this is not Saturday. It is Sunday. I had to come on Sunday. I said I'll put off Saturday just to come on Sunday so we can. I don't know if we want to vent. Do we want to give praise? Or do we just want to just talk about our Cowboys? So before we get started again, man, thank you for stepping in and sitting down with me on this day. The Cowboy Huddle, with yours truly, G, the number one Cowboy fan, Hampton, where we come together and sit down and talk about our Cowboys. So again, thank you for being a part of this network underground channel. Woo-hoo! No, we got a lot to talk about, guys. But thank y'all for subscribing and being a part of this channel. So, I got to give it up to you guys because I'm just saying, man, there is a lot that's going on. And again, I wanted to title this. I want to title this video, "Let's Be Totally Honest, Dallas Cowboys." Because, sometimes your statements can always be repetitious. It's just saying, but I know, hey, wait a minute now. The subtopic is it's only preseason. So what are we crying for, man? What are we crying for, But we again, the subtitle is it's only preseason. But again, what I had mentioned before, man, it was like the same statement is being said repetitively, repeatedly. It's the same. So to me, it's just like, well, we'll get over it. But we're going to get into that. But before we go into on that side of being negative, it's frustrating. Yeah. Buzz said it's very, very frustrating, the penalty. We're going to talk about all that real quick, man. But, let's talk about the bright side before we go on the negative side. Let's go to the bright side and let's look at some bright spots before we cave in on what you and I know what seemed to be the problem. So let me start out saying, in the beginning of the game, the defense definitely stepped up. One that stood out, Gallimore, right off the back, man. He jumped in the backfield, made the tackle for loss. So, not much I could say bad about the defense because defense did exactly what we expected. And just seems like that there's a lot of time and effort put into this defense. Gallimore was one that I was really pleased with to see him come off the snap, which I understand he's playing against backers, but he did exactly what he needed to do. Another one was Nahshon Wright. Nahshon Wright got burnt for a touchdown, but overall, to me, I felt that Nahshon Wright basically played a decent game along with Deron Bland. Deron Bland, he was one that I was really impressed with. I don't know about you guys, but Deron Bland definitely stood out to me. I was really I was like, okay, where this guy come from? But the kid played downhill majority of the night. So Yeah, so these are guys that pretty much stood out to me. So some other good things I can say before we get to let's start the bright stuff. So the other good thing, hey, we had 140 yards, 141 yards rushing to Denver's 39 yards rushing. So that was one of my concerns of this offensive line holding up to create running lanes. And I can say that 141 yards is pretty decent. Someone else that actually stood out to me as far as on the bright side of things was Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson has 3 receptions for 29 yards. Simi Fehoko got a touchdown pass late in the game. Late in the game, but he had 2 for 18, and Brandon Smith had a sweet over the shoulder catch. I think it was by Cooper Rush, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Cooper Rush? So yeah, I think it was by Cooper Rush. Yeah, so Trackhawk says, I like to see Mehar use, that's critical spot. We are hurting that. Oh my gosh, yes. That is a critical spot that we are hurting. But Mehar did step up and made the kick, which with Lim, I guess the problem it was anger didn't help him any. I mean, because it was a fumble snapper. He didn't set the ball quite right for Lim, so he definitely hooked the ball. So, yeah, that was the last thing Lim needed. But yeah, again, our kicker position is a problem. But yeah, so Brandon Smith, Simi Fehoko, and Jake Ferguson, and what's his name? The running back. What was his name? Jackson? No, what was his name? Let me pull him up. Malik Davis looked pretty good. I noticed one thing about our running backs. We don't have big back. We got these little scat backs. I think we had Shamklin back there, we had Davis back there, and we had McDowell back there. So neither one of these guys are real big guys, but there were some running lanes for these guys to run through. So that was good to see. But yeah, again, there was some good things that I saw. I was real pleased that we was able to move the ball for 141 yards. It's just again, the passing was probably an issue. So, but which we're gonna get right into that as well. So you guys know that the cut date is Tuesday. We got to go from 90 players to 85 players by Tuesday. So my question yeah, was getting okay. Let's see. Trackhouse said Basham was getting beat off the ball. Yeah, there was some times, man, and that's the thing. And I'm trying to stay on this side. We're gonna get into that, but I'm trying to stay on this price side. We're gonna dig in here in a minute. I just didn't want you guys to say, okay, G, you're going a little bit too hard. It's preseason, but I'm trying to be on the positive side right now because I really want to dig in real good on these boys, but we definitely going to do it. But so let me ask you guys this. So we have cut day coming up Tuesday, so we got to get rid of 5 players and by Tuesday. And personally, after looking at the roster, let me share this roster with you guys, man. Let's see here. I want you guys to see this here because let's kind of go into who do we think these guys going to probably cut by Tuesday. And basically, after looking at this roster, I think a lot of these cuts are going to probably come from the defensive side because we are thin, man, thin to none on this offensive side of the ball. We have no linemen. If you notice, right here, guys, I mean, look how deep we are. We're not deep compared to our defense. Look at all these guys on defense. But our offense, man, we are thin. So I don't really think our 5 will come from our linemen, offensive linemen, because we still got some questions to answer as far as our offensive linemen as well. So, but I'm really thinking that a lot of our cuts will probably come from this, defensive side. You got guys way back here that could probably, Big Cat. I don't know what they're going to do about Big Cat. Big Cat got a penalty against them, but I don't know if they give him another chance or not. But yeah, they got to get rid of 5 players by Tuesday. So I don't know. What do you guys think, man? I mean, we're looking at this. I mean, we're deep at the linebacker position, but I know it. Lorraine said, I know it was preseason, but I really didn't. I didn't really like what I saw. Oh, yeah, agree. And Lorraine, I'm trying to stay on this positive side right now before we just go in because there's a lot of ranting I need to do, but I'm trying to look at the bright side before I jump over into this negative side and just start roasting some folks because there's some people that need to be held accountable with what's going on. Yeah, I agree with you, Lorraine. I mean, that's it's the truth. So first of all, let's talk about this since we done got into the got all the positive things out the way. So here's the concerns from me, and maybe you guys can also vouch for what I'm about to say, or maybe you can make sense of what I'm going to say. 17 penalties for 129 yards. 17 penalties for 129 yards. I don't know. So let me ask this question. I mean, who do we blame? Who do we blame for the continuous penalty calls against majority of our offensive players, our offensive line and defensive line? And just who do we do we blame the players? Do we blame the refs? Do we blame the coaches? Do we blame position coaches? Because Mike McCarthy said something in his press conference that really, you know, was mind-boggling that he said this. But personally, if we're doing the same thing, which we led the league in penalties last year, we led the league in penalties last year, coaches and players, I think. I agree. And here's the deal, Lorraine. I really think that our issue is there's no accountability. There's no accountability when there's penalties called. Now I'm gonna bring this old coach up, and I don't care. People probably don't like it, but this is when we was great. Jimmy Johnson. Do you guys and ladies, do y'all really think that Jimmy Johnson would put up with something like this? Do we really think Jimmy Johnson would put up with this many penalties? I think some starters would be benched and some backup players would probably be out of this camp by Tuesday because of their lackluster play and lack of discipline. Because that's basically what it boils down to: lack of discipline and no accountability. And I agree with Lorraine. A lot of this has to fall on the coaches. Here we are starting the season again with 17 penalties in one preseason game. You know, what is this? Lorraine says so many penalties. I was counting them too. Yeah, it's at that point to where it's like, watching your gas tank. You drive for so long until you get to a quarter of a tank. You're really looking at the gas tank like, how far can I go? And that's the exact way our team is playing. I mean, this with this penalties crap, man. It's ridiculous. And personally, yeah, I blame the players, but I'm gonna blame a lot on these coaches and these position coaches. Joe Philbin, these are your guys. Why are these guys continually jumping off sides? Why are these guys continually holding? Why are these guys continually doing anything that's causing us? I think we had one great drive where we was about to score, and there was a penalty call and backed us up. You know, I'm not. It really doesn't matter if you are a starter or a backup. As a position coach, I have to make sure that my guys are ready. True, we can say that it was a preseason game, but as a pee-wee coach, if I'm going to scrimmage someone, if I lose, at least I can say that we did execute and we gave our all because basically what we saw last night on this offensive side of the ball, it was very sloppy. Very sloppy, if you ask me. But it's just my opinion. But again, this falls back on our head coach for not addressing the penalty situation because it continued from last year unto our first preseason game. No changes. And sure, yeah, we can say, yeah, we it's just preseason. We can fix it later, but it should have been fixed. This is the whole reason you're going through OTAs and training camp and all this stuff to get prepared for the season. So again, how do we correct the problem? I mean, it's just a question to ask. How do we correct this problem? Lorraine said it was embarrassing, but I know it was preseason. Yeah, it was preseason, but this is why you practice. As a Pee Wee coach, my my game day is a lot easier because of my practice. You play how you practice. If I have a great practice, it makes my job a lot easier when I on game day. So again, it's preseason, but we want to nip all these issues in the bud before we got to the preseason game. This is about evaluation, guys. Whoever these guys creating these, in which now I know Sam Williams, he had one in which I really don't think that was I don't really think that was a penalty where he went in and hit the quarterback and lifted him up and hey, but again, the game, I don't know if you want to say that the game has evolved or the game has gotten soft, but yeah. So yeah, Lorraine, agree. What are they doing in practice? It seems to me, Lorraine, that they're going through reps, going through the reps, or going through the routine. And if you watch the Cowboys, that's what they do. They go through the routine. Is they go from one station, they work there, go to the next station, go there, and then they move on to the next station. Sometimes you can correct that what you have a problem with, while going on hard counts, going on silent counts, mixing it up. But don't just get out there and say, okay, next group, ready, hut, next group, ready, hut. No, going on two, going on third hut, going on the second hut, going on third hut, to where they get in the mind. You cannot move until that ball moves. That's one thing we've always taught our kids in Pee Wee. When do we move? When the ball moves. I mean, this is fundamental football. And I understand everybody's anxious and it happens, but 17 for 129 yards. So, with that being said, it's like it's something about this left guard position. We had Connor Williams over here. Connor Williams came in there and just killed us dead when he played left guard, and Tyler Smith, which I understand he's young and he's learning, but he had quite a few against him as well. And one was questionable. But Tyler, we got to get you in position, honey, young man, to where, we can correct those things that are hurting us, okay? If that makes sense. Maybe. But something about this left guard position, good grief. And remember, Tyler Smith, I understand you straight out of Crowley, Texas, right around the corner from where I'm living right now. But you wearing number 73, and you're strong. I rather for that guard to be strong and get caught holding for taking this man down than, and I think Mark Holmes say this or Mike Fisher, one of them, than to see a player being weak and get caught holding because he's getting beat, if that makes sense. So it's just something that we need to really look into, and sometimes you might need to go back to fundamental. All right, guys, line up. We're going on a third snap. We're going on a fourth snap. We're going on set, and that's how you get these players to concentrate. But again, there's no accountability with our coaches, our position coaches, and again, like I say, Jimmy Johnson would not. Somebody would be fired. Jimmy Johnson would actually have somebody fired. Okay, Lorraine says we can't keep bringing amongst the top of penalized teams almost. Oh my gosh, so true. And we starting the season out like this. So, that's where we are, this left guard position. So with that being said, I was looking at some things, some of the transactions that we made here in the past. So basically, Jerry Jones took rookies over vets. Yeah, probably saying, well, what do you mean, G? Jerry Jones decided to take rookies over vet. So, and what I say by that, we decided to draft Jalen Tolbert. And I understand Jalen Tolbert, I don't think he had two catches, about 18 yards. And then we're gonna get into that. We say Jalen Tolbert for Amari Cooper, Sam Williams for Randy Gregory, Terrence Steele for Lael Collins, Tyler Smith. I say Tyler Smith because we could have probably had picked up a free agent offensive guard. So basically, they're saying, okay, we're going to get young, we're going to use these young guys, and we're going to, get rid of the vets, Randy Gregory, Lael Collins, and Amari Cooper. We're going to get rid of those three guys, and we're going to replace them with some rooks. And basically, that's what they did. And when I look at Sam Williams, which Sam Williams did okay, because the reason I say Sam Will, because I'm expecting Sam to play a lot this year, and Terrence Steele's playing the right tackle now instead of, playing the left. He's actually a starter. So the question is Terrence Steele better than Lael Collins? Will Jalen Tolbert be better than Amari Cooper? Oh, man. Oh, them some gut busters. And will Tyler Smith live up to the hype over a veteran free agent offensive guard? Just some questions. Just some questions that we have to ask ourselves. Are we okay with bringing these rookies in and allowing the veterans to leave? Will it affect us in the long run? Time will tell. But along with that, people, Cowboy fans, we have kicker concerns. We have some kicker concerns here. If you guys are not aware of it, we have some kicker concerns. Well, Laram missed his first one, what anger didn't help him. The punter, the holder didn't help him. The snap was kind of dropped and wasn't set properly in order for Liam to make that kick, in which it went wide right. That didn't help him at all. So I don't know how McCarthy's going to look at that and what he's going to think about that. As far as, do we bring another kicker in, or do we go with Brett and just stay with Brett Mahar, or what? But Brett did made his field goal. So, which was a good sigh of relief to see. I had my fingers crossed, hoping that he would make. Brett, you gotta make this. But but it's something to look out for. Again, we got to cut 5 players before Tuesday, and it's going to be something to see. And I'm thinking it's going to probably be somebody, like I said, on the defensive side, which is probably down the bench of the defensive line or secondary that they'll probably cut. I hate to see anybody lose their job, but that's just the business. Yeah. So Lorraine says, I hope the next game will be better against the Chargers. Yes, I'm really worried about kicking. I mean, we got to do better. And I'm really trying to remember the last time we won our first preseason game. We always start on the same foot every year. And it's more like it's these coaches, they look at it as it's not a big deal. It's only preseason. No, it's more than preseason. I heard one coach, what was the coach? Was it Denver? One of the coaches said, oh man, who was, I almost said his name, but they were playing, it was the 49ers. It was a general manager, Lynch. Lynch said, he said, I know it's a preseason, but we want to win this game. Lynch. What was his name? Lynch. I can't think of his name. He used to play for 49ers himself. Bad, super bad safety for the 49ers. But he was doing an interview while the game was playing, and he said this came from the general manager's mouth. He said, I know that this is a preseason game, but we want to win it. We want to win it. So our attitude of, well, it's no big deal. Well, what if we're going to say this to our players? It's no big deal. And to our coaches, no big deal. It's just, how you expect them guys to come out there and compete? We got bullied on Thursday by the Broncos. They hit us in the mouth Thursday, and then they invited us back to the big stage, and they kicked us straight in our Duke shoot. Let's see. LeBron says, I don't remember when the last time we won our No, I'm serious. I don't remember when we won our first preseason game. And maybe it wasn't long ago, but I just don't remember. I just always remember we probably been win 1 out of 4, or maybe 2 out of 4, but this is our mentality towards preseason. It's just preseason. So with that type of mentality, these guys gonna go out there. Well, you got to put some things on the line. You got to let these guys know. You got to probably get in that locker room and cuss them out real good, and the asthma field is over there and all this so good stuff. You can't play games, and you really and truly now, starting today, somebody need to be made an example of until these players realize that, hey, I could be out next. So again, yeah, like you, Lorraine, I definitely hope we play better next week. So, the question is, are our coaches delusional? And the reason I say that is because every time they get on the stand, Dak he done become a Jason Garrett of the press conferences. Him and Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett, man, I'm telling you, it's like they get up here. If I know if there was piss poor play out there on the field, I'm going to get up there and say, no, I'm not satisfied with what I saw. I understand it's preseason and everything, but we got to do better than that. And starting with me. But I, as a quarterback, or I, as the running back, I'm holding everybody on this team accountable. But from what I saw now, I'm talking as one of the players. For what I saw, that is unacceptable. And everybody need to get their head out their butt and come to practice on whatever next day. I think they're out for the next 5 days. So they're going to walk right into the Chargers with the same mentality unless somebody kicks them in their square in their butt. And I thought Charles Haley, him being out there, he might be also, out there. It's Sunday. Oh, my gosh. It's Sunday, Chris. Enjoy your vacation, brother. I just wasn't able to do it yesterday, so I just wanted to go live today. Henry said, offensive line. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Henry. Oh, I was real tough on Boy Wonder, which I'm still tough on Boy Wonder. But another little well-kept secret is Joe Philbin. Joe Philbin is this offensive line coach. And again, I had already said I believe it was personal when Joe Philbin got rid of La'el Collins. Because I still have some concerns. About Terrence Steele at that right tackle. I'm still a little concerned about that. But yeah, man, it's that's a well-kept secret. I could continue to say, is our offensive line in the loop with the offensive plays, which now I can't say they ran the ball really well. 141 yards. That was, I mean, I was really impressed with that. But man, let's go to straight now. Now we're talking about Joe Philbin. Let's talk about Boy Wonder. When I say Boy Wonder, I'm talking about Kellen Moore, KM, number one offense coordinator in the world, Craig. But here's the deal though. Play calling. Let's talk about this play calling. We couldn't even generate to get in field goal range. Oh, we couldn't even generate enough yardage to get in field goal range, guys. We didn't score until the fourth quarter. Okay, y'all got to get me off my horse because I'm telling y'all now, I'm going there now. Y'all better come on, chime in. Dallas Cowboy Chris said he feels like Tito Jackson because he's not on the live. Again, Dallas Cowboy Chris, because I didn't do it on Saturday, I'm doing it Sunday. So I just wanted to go live with everybody because I'm sure everybody got something to say about our Cowboys. But enjoy. I hope you're enjoying your vacation, man. I've been watching your videos. I like y'all are having a lot of fun out there, man. So I'm definitely have to conjure up me a vacation, man. So y'all enjoy yourself and don't drink too many. If you do, drink one for me. But so this play calling. Number one thing I did notice, I noticed that there was a problem with Cooper Rush connecting with the receivers. Now, again, let's talk about that. Knowing that Cooper Rush was going to start this week, why would you have Jalen Tolbert and Dennis Houston running with Dak the week of the game when basically, different quarterbacks throws different ways, and there's a different twist to each ball how they throw it. So I'm sure Jalen Tolbert was, more in tune with Dak Prescott along with Dennis Houston. But why wouldn't you, coaches? Why wouldn't you say, okay, this is what we're going to do? We're going to let Cooper Rush start. So Cooper Rush, this week of the before the game, we want you to take these snaps with first team receivers, which was Jalen Tolbert and Dennis Houston. Dennis Houston. Why wouldn't you do that? Because sure enough, Jalen Tolbert ran one round. He did a little comeback route, didn't come back deep enough, and it looked terrible. Henry said, what you say, Henry? Henry said, Moore goes on with one game plan that goes south, has no answer, no adjustment at all. Halftime, I hate. Hey, I'm not the only one. Henry, see, y'all thought I was, hey, Dallas Cowboy Chris, you thought it was me. Henry, he feels like I feel. Henry just said the exact same thing I said. Personally, I think Kellen Moore plays are script. I really think his plays are script. He goes 1 through 20, and then he goes from 20 to 1 or back to 1 through 20. I don't know. But, man, there's no adjustments. Again, the running game was decent. And I understand, guys, these are backups, but these are backups against backups. So I expect something from my backups, okay? I expect something from my back. I don't care if you third string. When you get in there, you better bring something to the table. But so we could not generate 3 points in 3 quarters. Oh, Gary, it's only preseason. No, ain't no sense. I understand. It's preseason. But no points in 3 quarters? And again, like I said, I really feel that a lot of that has to do with coaching, not preparing, allowing Cooper Rush to work with Dennis Houston and Jalen Tolbert, because I'm telling you, they look bad. And I understand the fielding out there kind of got bad and everything, but hey, this is football. Lorraine says Cowboy needs to stop trying to come back. And we know why we're playing comeback. The play calling. It's the play calling. And that was one of my biggest concerns, Joe Philbin and Kellen Moore. And I said this. I said, Kellen Moore is either going to make Mike McCarthy or break Mike McCarthy. And if you didn't notice, Mike McCarthy didn't have his spreadsheet with him. So it's something. So what Henry says, Dallas sleepwalks first 3 quarters, and Moore wants to open up the playbook when we are down big. Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna say this too, Henry. Another thing about that, I think Dak plays better when he's in a 2-minute drill. If you notice, and you guys watch this when regular season starts, Dak plays better when he goes up and lines up on the line and he, give his signals to his players than him receiving the plays from the offensive coordinator. Dak plays better on the 2-minute hurry, just lining up and calling his plays, and he moves the ball better than what this guy on the sideline does. So we're looking at 2 coaches that we've had that has very minimal NFL experience. Jason Garrett, which was our offensive coordinator before he was the head coach, and now we have Kellen Moore. Neither of these guys have very little NFL playing time on the field. And you put them on a big stage like this, and you expect us to do big things. It's not going to happen, Jerry Jones. Lorraine says, I was so mad last night I had to go to sleep because I know the Cowboys are better than that, and we should be playing better, of course. Yeah, it got ugly. And I had some friends. I had a Denver Bronco fan over last night, and I had a Detroit Lion fan over last night, and guess what? They got kicked out. My neighbors, one on this side of me and one on this side of me. But they all want to come to my house and they want to sit and troll on my Cowboys. Hey guys, it was nice, but y'all got to go. What do you say, Henry? Henry says, exactly. Dak plays better rolling out and play action. Moore thinks that Dak is an Aaron Rodgers. We got to use Dak to his strength. He's not. Dak need Dak rolling out and play action. And hell, go back to RPOs. That's exactly how we got there. That's how we won our game. I understand that he's a quarterback. Well, let's ask ourselves, how did Dak break his ankle, his leg? Well, because Dak wanted to try to strong arm somebody when he should have went down. So yeah, that's what happened. If Dak would have just slid and got down, we wouldn't be at this problem. We're having this problem right now. But again, we have to look at going back to the RPOs, the play action. Well, let me ask you guys this fell on Boy Wonder, y'all. Did y'all see the play where it was 4th and 2? We had been running the ball the whole time. It was 4th and 2. And Boy Wonder called a play in shotgun. Boy Wonder, it was 4th and 2. We've been running the ball well, and it was 4th and 2, and he called, and I think it was a pick. The guys read it. 4th and 2, and we're in shotgun. So basically, I'm as a defensive coordinator, yeah, I'm going to play the pass. If they're going to I'm not going to let them throw the ball. If they can run it, they can run it. But I'm not going. And sure enough, then we got a pick. Cowboy Chris said, "Be patient." Well, this is not the show about being patient, my brother. This is a show about allowing people to vent, and that's exactly what they're doing. And Henry says, need Dak use his leg like that's right. Wilson slide, yeah. Safe. I don't need Dak throwing 25 plus a game, 400 yards a game. Dak shouldn't be throwing 25. Brother, I totally agree with you. And what you say, Henry say, we've been patient over 25 years. And that's so true. Hey, you know what, dude? I went on TikTok today and I'm watching everybody. They still, I almost barfed. I'm like, oh, and don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest Cowboy fan there is, but when things are not working right, things are not going right, it's just like I want to just kick somebody, but it's just it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating that we're here And we're sitting here again, wondering what we're gonna look like next week. But I do say this too. I say, we really need to start holding people accountable. We need to hold these coaches accountable, hold the players accountable. Again, I can say be patient, but Jerry, I'm gonna tell you right now, Jimmy Johnson wouldn't be patient. And y'all know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. We can say be patient all you want, but you know good and well, Jimmy Johnson would not even use the word be patient. Oh, come on, y'all. Come on. Talk to me. Talk to me. What you say, Pete? I know only preseason penalties still on. Yeah. Yeah, preseason on the preseason, but damn, we come out with 17 penalties for 129 yards. Okay, let's chalk it up as preseason. Chris say he going back on it. I don't blame. Don't stress yourself. Don't even worry about the Cowboys. You on vacation, dude. You'll hear about it when you get back. Lorraine said, bye, Chris. Yeah, because this is a show where we allowed everybody to vent because, again, we all know if Jimmy Johnson was here, Jimmy Johnson would be livid. And again, we talked about that until Jerry Jones put Jimmy Johnson in the ring of honor or bring Jimmy Johnson back, one of the two. We're going to have some long season for people. Henry says, entire off season, Mike is going to take care of the penalty. Okay. And we got 17 freaking ones. Shows that we're a joke and don't respect the head coach still. Well, I don't think it's that they don't respect the head coach, but the head coach is not expecting anything from them. Ooh. Maybe the head coach he's not firm enough. Again, how many years have we went with these puppet coaches that's going to do what the guy that sits up high says? And that's where we are. That's where we are. It's maybe our coach don't expect nothing out of our players. I mean, we're only as good if they look at this. In which let's go right on over into what Mike said in his press conference. So, in the press conference, the question was asked about the assessment of the game. Saturday night's game, people. Mike said it's what we needed. I ain't lying. Mike McCarthy said it's what we needed. Now, John Lynch, I think that's his name over in 49, the general manager, he said, I know it's preseason game now. I forget who they was playing. The 49 was playing somebody. He said, but I want to win this game. And he was serious. I know it's preseason, but man, I'm telling you, I want to win this game. But Mike McCarthy said it's what we needed. No, it's never what you need. Because all the OTAs, the all-season practices and all that, and then all the way up to training camp, we are preparing to go into this thing strong and hard to beat our opponent. Not to go in there and evaluate, well, we messed up, but it's what we needed. No, I've been here 2 years. I don't expect the same results like the first year I got here. Jerry Jones need to be the owner and stay. It's so true, Lorraine. We've been saying it. And why? Let me ask y'all this. And I'm gonna get you in here in just a minute, Pete. So why do we have to interview the owner? Are we the only team that interviews the owner? I don't even listen to Jerry Jones when he does his press conference because it's nothing that needs to be said by the owner about what's going on the field. Just write the checks, dude, and keep the roof over our head and keep the fuel in the jet so we can get back and forth, But I don't want to hear from Jerry Jones elaborating or talking about what he thought about the game. No, Jerry. And I don't listen to it anymore. So Pete says, got a lot of opinions on this. Just so much going through my mind. Well, hold tight. I might bring you on here in a minute, Pete. So let you get it off your chest. So hold tight, man. But yeah, Jerry Jones needs to be the owner and stay away from playing the manager until he get a real manager, a general manager, and which should be Will McClay. But so this is what he said. He said he was asked the question of the assessment of the game, the Denver Bronco and the Cowboys game. And Mike said it's what we needed. He also we're talking about night and day. Jimmy Johnson and Mike McCarthy. We're talking about night and day. Mike said he's excited to watch the tape, quote unquote. I'm excited to watch the tape. Why? What is it to watch? All the corrections should have been done after last season against the 49ers. So, and with that being said, also, he said this here. He said, because the question was asked to him about, does this have anything? Here we are, when we played the 49ers, we had a lot of penalties, and here we are in preseason with the same thing. So Mike said, this is not a regular season. This not regular season last year. Last year was last year concerning penalties. Preseason has nothing to do with last season. That's what your coach said. Ref and team was in mid-season form last night. Yeah, I guess so, man. But it was just one of those. It's one of those deals, man. I'm kind of a bit disappointed, man, to seeing us start on the same foot that we did last year. And again, that's where we are. I don't know, guys. I'm just baffled that our coach is not holding anybody accountable. So let's look at this real quick. And just a couple of stats. Let me see, where did I do with them? So we had a total of 316 yards to Denver's 324 yards. We had 175 passing yards to 285 yards of Denver's. We had 141 yards rushing versus their 39 yards rushing. So that was, that's a plus. We had 21 first downs to their 19 first down. So on from there, it was pretty close. The game was pretty close. Only two things that stood out to me was the rushing yards, which it favored us, and the penalties that favored us. 17 for 129. They had 8 for 64. All started with Dez catch ever since we've been playing against the ref too. Yeah, it was a catch. Rain says, Pete, if you want to come on, I just put that link. Anybody want to come on and vent on the live, you definitely can. I just put the link up there. I can go on and on with this. Laugh out loud. You have a good Sunday. Cowboys for life. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you very much. But yeah, we got to get ready for this next week. We got to get ready for next week, and I'm worried. We scored 7 points in the fourth quarter. No points. We didn't. We got. I think we got past the 50 probably about 5 or 6 times out of 4 quarters, maybe 6 or 7. But we never got in field goal range. In which, not to say we was going to make the field goal, but at least if you don't do anything else, Kellen Moore, get your team in field goal position. Don't know. But this is where we are, guys, like Lorraine said. like Henry said. Man, I'm so glad I'm not the only one that feels like that about Kellen Moore and by myself. I appreciate you, Henry. Appreciate you, Pete. All you guys. But I'm just baffled of what we do from here. So we're definitely going to look forward to what's coming up. So let's first look at who gets cut. And again, I really think there's going to be individuals that probably didn't get much playing time, you know, um, on the back end of the defense. I think it's going to be a lot of defensive players, probably 5 defensive players that actually get cut because they're so stacked on defense and we're very thin on offense. Henry says, I'm very concerned about Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph. Hey, I'm going to tell you, Deron Bland looked pretty good to me. Nation Wright might beat out Kelvin Joseph. Just something to think about. I knew we were in trouble, not addressing the corners. Man, great point. Let me bring my man on. My man is on here. He gonna come on. I'm gonna let him help me out because I know it's a lot to be said. Here we are. What's going on, Pete? You doing all
What?
right, brother?
Yeah, man. I had to go to work this morning and I had to just let it all out. I mean, I'm not. I'm. Let me tell you something, man. I don't make a big deal out of this preseason usually, like you
Right.
said, but man, the
But,
penalties
but
penalties are alarming. That was, and there was some 50-50 that could have gone either way on that, and I just didn't. Like you said, this is what the year is going to look determine. Remember, Garrett, were make the playoffs, miss the playoffs, make the
yeah,
playoffs, miss the playoffs.
yeah,
So I don't want to go through that no more. So, and with us having the first place schedule, Mike McCarthy, like they even said it last night, it's like where we left off in the 49er game.
yeah.
so,
Agree.
so
So Pete, the question is, who do we hold accountable? Who do we hold accountable for starting off where we left off last season with these penalties?
yes,
Who do we hold accountable on that?
that's the whole coaching staff. I mean, just
Woo!
the whole coaching staff. I mean,
Mm.
uh, I mean McCarthy to Moore to Philbin. I mean, you gotta. I mean, the top guy's gonna get the blame, right?
Yeah,
Usually, but
yes,
I mean, it's the same thing with Garrett. It was all right. Remember, it was Wade Phillips first. Oh, he's a scapegoat. Let's get rid of
yeah,
Wade and bring up
yeah,
Jason Garrett. Was on the same
yeah.
coaching staff, same results.
Same results. Puppets.
Yeah,
Well, and I said this too also, Pete. I said, these two off Jason Garrett and Kellen Moore have very, very minimum time in the NFL as far as playing time on the field. I mean, I can count on one hand how many times each of those players played in and started in a game. Not
yeah.
very many. But
No.
here you got 2 guys that were actually offensive coordinators.
Hmm.
But my problem is Kellen Moore cannot get us in field goal range.
No. And
3
and
quarters.
and at that, if we do get in field goal range, who's going to kick the field goals for us now too? That's that's another big. We couldn't see. We didn't even get it. We couldn't even get in range to test these guys out, which what we need to do. So you know,
True, true. That is so true. We couldn't even get in position to see if we had a kicker. Dang.
yeah, it's
Oh,
just
that's serious. Well, here, check this out. And this is another situation we got. Henry says alarming how bad Cooper Rush is, and he is
yeah,
and is our backup. Still,
yeah,
that's alarming. So what he's saying, who's going to be who is the backup? Because the backup
exactly.
didn't look. Oh
Exactly.
man,
Because if you go back to the what was it, the Minnesota game he played on, what was that? It was he we had the one play where he made the big pass and catch, which won us that game. Luckily for our defense was really good in that game
yeah,
to keep us in that, which you want that, but still we want a guy that's capable at least like you're comfortable like that goes down 1-2 games. They're like, all right, this guy can handle 1-2 games and be a we don't have that. We don't it's the same story as years have gone. Remember the defense when Sean Lee was in the game? Our defense was solid. He was the quarterback of that defense, and he put us
Yeah.
in good situations. But when he went out, teams just went running wild on us, and it's just like the same old. If we lose one guy, that's it. The coaches and it's mind-boggling because
Hmm.
if we go back to Minnesota when they went to the NFC title game with Case
Yeah.
Keenum as their quarterback, the Eagles go to the Super Bowl with Nick Foles with their backup. That is what coaching does.
Right.
Whenever you're in those situations, coaches can get around those situations and still get you to where you want to get.
Well, and way it looks right now, man. Look at here. Cooper Rush was 12 of 20,
Yeah.
4 yards. Ben DiNucci actually played better than Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and maybe we see Will Greer in the next round, the next game to go some. I don't know the answer to that. We got positions. We've talked about the cornerback position, the wide receiver position,
Yeah.
but they bring up a good point. Who's our backup quarterback? Who's our kicker? Those are important positions as well as the season goes along.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said this here too, Pete. I said, we know that Jalen Tolbert and Dennis Houston basically ran with Dak the first team these past few weeks.
Hmm.
But as a coach, knowing that I'm going to play Cooper Rush, why wouldn't I allow the week before the game to
Yeah.
allow these guys to run with Cooper Rush? Because you could tell their timing was off.
Yeah, yeah. You saw Houston on one route. He didn't. Yeah, he was off on a couple, and he was open. The play would have worked,
Yeah,
and Tolbert as well. And that was the one thing we said. Like I believe Tolbert's gonna have a pretty good season as a rookie because I think with Dak in there, he's gonna elevate those guys.
yeah,
Stuff like that. And I like we said before, uh, Tolbert. That was my main concern was him catching balls in traffic, and he had one drop right in traffic that would have gave us a first down. So that was one of my concerns with him. But I'm still a believer in him. I think he'll be
yeah.
just fine. I don't believe we're gonna go into the season with this, you know, Lamb and then like 2 or 3 rookies starting beside him. I think we're gonna figure something out to where it's
Well, we got Noah
Tolbert.
Brown. We got Noah Brown, so
Yeah,
he
you
might
said
he might be that third guy.
yeah, yeah, and you're right. And then speaking on the corners last night, like I felt Joseph was last in the pecking order.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
watching just doing the eye test. I thought
Oh,
even though Wright gave up the big play, I felt like he was really aggressive and he put
yep.
him. Remember the interception he would have had? I thought it was a little ticky tacky on the penalty myself.
Yeah, yeah,
But like they said last night, they're gonna look at these legal contexts and you're gonna see a lot of it called in the off season because that's what they're harping on and trying to get on it. But I felt him and Bland were the more aggressive corners. They seemed like they were better positions on plays that could have been made. And yeah, Joseph just I don't see it.
right, right. I don't know, man. Joseph, I don't know. I don't know. He might have a lot on his mind with what went down, in the past, or sometimes your agent coming there and say, "Hey, look, I want you to go out here, keep your mouth shut, and keep
Yeah.
your head down, and just play football." When you're used to one of those players that like to talk trash, so
And like we said before, he just like we said, is his mind on football? Is it with the whole rap name and everything like that? Is his mind on football? A lot of times we get those guys that have the nicknames and has this, they're
yeah,
they're they're
want
not
to be a
completely all
rapper and
in.
all this. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, and that's the question that needs to be asked. I mean, is your mind do you have your mind on football? And that's the
yeah,
question we had because right now it's not looking good for him, man. And this was a
no,
second round pick we picked up. So,
yeah.
we have to cut 5 players by Tuesday. How do you think
Hmm.
that's going to go?
Whew. If it was Jimmy, he would have cut probably half the team last night.
Some of the starters.
so yeah, man, that's a tough one. I mean, we're probably gonna. It's all going to depend who they want to see in the second upcoming preseason game and
Yeah,
who's going to try to get more playing time. So
Right.
That one's going to be a tough one. I don't think you're going to see any receivers cut out of that group, or
No.
you might see it on the defense side of the ball, would be my guess.
And then we're so stacked at defense too,
Yeah,
So I'm thinking
yeah,
a lot of cuts going to come from the defensive side of the ball, but because we are
yeah,
really, really thin on that offensive side. So with
yeah.
that being said, what do you think about Tyler Smith? I mean, what was
I
your impression?
I thought for his first game, I thought he was pretty impressive to me. I thought he was solid. I thought he was
Yeah,
solid, and
yeah,
for going out there, and he had a ball, I think, on the left side of him, and he still had Tyler in the middle on the right side of him. I
yeah,
think I think whenever you look at it and you get Tyron Smith back on the left side and put him in there between him and Tyler, he he'll have a lot more, veteran leadership to depend on right there, as far as,
right.
how we've done in the past. We've had guys come in and play in the middle of
Hmm.
some of these veterans, and they turn out to be really good. So, he
True.
had the penalty. Of course, when he gets a penalty, there everybody's going to point that out, because
Right,
he
right,
had them
right.
in college. We just got rid of a left guard that had all the penalties. So it's gonna be microscope when he has a penalty. But for the most part, I was happy with his performance. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I say, it's a learning curve, and then going up against someone a little different than you've been playing against on a regular basis. So yeah, and then I think one or two of them was kind of ticky tack hold calls.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
guy come across his body and he basically just pushed him out and they call him with a hook, but
Exactly what I said with the refs being mid-season form. I mean, like I said, we did have penalties on ourselves. We did cause those, and usually when you start getting them, refs are going to even harp on you more and watch it even more, and they're going to call ticky-tack stuff. So,
yeah,
I mean, you saw the Sam Williams roughing the passer. I thought was horrible, and yeah, you're
yeah.
just
Oh,
going to
that was
get it.
terrible. That was
Yeah,
terrible. I mean,
yeah.
good grief, they might as well put flags on the quarterback.
Yeah, my dad says put dresses on them. That's what he says all the time. So,
Yeah, that's
but
about where we are, man. It just, like I say, and I'm gonna ask you this before we get out of here. But so, how you think Jimmy Johnson would have taken this game on last night? What would you think his press conference would be like?
oh man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, in that locker room, when they got back to that locker room, guys would have been cut right after that. Right after that. And if anybody asked about a certain player, he would have been let us know, like, oh, he's gone. He's on a bus home. You know.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's
So,
just that's just that's just the way he would have handled it, and that's where you said the discipline. The discipline. We're still seeing that.
accountability.
Like I said, I know it's preseason. I understand. Like, I'm not going to take, like, a lot of the stuff that happened last night. I'm not going to take a lot, but the penalties is alarming. The discipline still, it's where. I mean, Denver didn't get called that many throughout the game.
No, 8 for
So
64.
yeah,
Because the coach is not. He's holding those players accountable and the coaches.
yeah,
But and so the question was asked of Mike McCarthy in his press conference. He said of the assessment of the game, and Mike responded with, "It's what we needed.
huh.
What we needed."
Well, we
No, it's
needed
not what we needed.
that's something you say usually in the middle of the season, where you're
Yeah,
7 game winning streak, and you get your
yeah.
butt kicked in one game, and you're just like, oh, we needed this wake up call. That's not what you say in the first preseason game.
Don't
And,
say
and
that.
And I'm a Mark Kirk. Like, when McCarthy got hired, I was happy about it. I was okay with this. And like I said, this is the season where we'll tell, because like I said, the Garrett years was miss playoffs, make the playoffs, get a last place schedule, have a great 14-2 record, 13-3 record. Now let's see what you do with the first place schedule. This is what's going to be telling, because I don't want to
Yeah.
go through 9 years of more of this where it's
No.
off and on. Like I said, if we want to be Super Bowl contenders or get close to that, you have to consistently be in the playoffs to give yourself that opportunity to get there, because you're going to have some
Exactly.
discipline. Green Bay is always giving themselves the opportunity to get there. That's why they're always talking. You got these teams that are just consistency making the playoffs. So
So true, man. So true. Mike, I tell you what, Pete, I sure appreciate you coming on here, man, because
Yeah, man.
I usually do this on Saturdays, but I say, you know what, what's a better time to do this on the day after the game?
Hey, man, hit me up. I'm free on Saturdays and Sunday, man. I love doing this with you all the time,
Okay,
man.
sounds good, man. We'll find some time, man, and try to work something out, man. But appreciate Henry, appreciate Lorraine, and everybody else that was watching. And, man, listen here, we're going to get ready for next week. So here we are. So, hey, guys, appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the like and then the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification button so you will be notified of the next video. So with that being said, I always say, don't nothing come to a sleep but a dream. So let's make it happen. Dallas Cowboys. Deuces.